John Simone making his third appearance. He is trained by Fabiano Scherner out of Portland, Oregon. Charlie Gilpin making his fourth appearance. Comes to us by way of the Brazilian top team. John Simone has a cousin who is doing the family name well. That being Ricky Simone. Competes currently for the UFC. Simone and Gilpin got to feel each other out on their feet a little bit. I do not imagine that either one of them is going to be willing to go guard. I don't think we're going to see a sit-down type situation. I think they both are going to fight for position, continue the fight wherever that should go, but I believe they're both going to wrestle heavy until they can try to get their opponent down. John Simone looked to close the distance. He's pulling underneath here. Wants to get as low underneath as he can. This is how he's going to set up the reversal. He comes out on top. What that does when John Simone was getting underneath Charlie there, he's getting underneath his hips, not just his body. Underneath his hips, that way Simone can elevate. Makes Charlie very light, takes a lot of his strength away, and allow John to get to the more dominant top position. Charlie with a closed guard. The guy's guard is closed. It's very relevant for you to notice that at home. There's only two submission options with a closed guard. You can go to a Kimura or you could go to a guillotine. When the guard opens, that's when the rest of submissions or an escape becomes available. Charlie Gilpin elected to escape, and we're back in a wrestling match. John Simone changed elevation there. Charlie did what we call a cross face, which is just he brought his forearm across the face of Simone. Where the head goes, the body will follow, and now it's Charlie's turn on top. Simone closed guard. Shuts down a lot of his opportunities for offense, but it also does a very good job of protecting him defensively. Though I've pointed out the limitations to the guy on bottom having a closed guard, it also creates great limitations for the guy on top. The guy on top cannot begin to pass guard, for example. Charlie looks like he might be going to stand up to his feet, create a full separation here. John Simone now going into a half guard. Charlie, just a Sunday ago, finished his match from this position, a topside guillotine. It was the only one that we saw of all of Submission Underground 19. Charlie looks like to be going back for it. Simone doing a good job of blocking his arm, but if Charlie gets his hands locked, it's going to be a big problem. This all comes down to the lock. It's not the positioning of the arms. It's the locking of the fingers and where can he lock it. Simone broke the lock. Simone is safe. John Simone looking to apply pressure with his shoulder. If you'll notice, guys, his left shoulder. Simone's left shoulder on top. He's trying to put that right on the jaw line of Charlie Gilpin. Now Charlie bringing his left arm through. That's what we call a frame. He's trying to frame John. He doesn't want John too far away. He doesn't want John too close. He wants to use that forearm. He's digging it back in. He wants to just create a little bit of space. When John is hugging him, makes it very tough for Charlie to set something up. We have 1 minute here in regulation. Oh, and a break in the action. They come back to their feet. John Simone looking to get back in.
10 seconds.
And a break in the action. We're going to have a flip of the coin.
Loop one, he's going to defer. Take his back. On the back. Carefully roll against the camera that way. In the center. All right, both ready? Yep. Go!
Difficulty. I am adjusted, though. I see it appears Charlie Gilpin has won the toss of the coin. He's elected back control. Charlie doing a good job with distracting right here. Charlie's threatening upper body, but it's Simone's lower body that gets himself free. Referee will call that in the action. The clock will stop with just over a minute advantage time. Two things at play here, guys. For anybody who is tuning in for the first time, yes, John Simone, who is on the back of Charlie Gilpin, yes, he wants to choke him. He wants to get a submission here. But he must hold Charlie in this position. Charlie, who's on defense, would like to not be choked, but he must get himself free. He's not only battling the submission of John Simone, who looks to be getting tight right now, Charlie also is battling the clock. This is getting very tight. Charlie does not look like he's in panic mode. He was, though. He was. I did not see an urgency from Charlie, which always tells you one of two things. Halfway, you get convinced, oh, he must not be in trouble. When a guy looks like he's getting choked, but he doesn't show a sign of urgency, you go, well, you know what? Maybe he's just not in trouble. Or maybe it's too late. In that case, it's clear now it was too late. Kevin Keeney, make this official.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by submission due to rear naked choke at 23 seconds in the bottom half of overtime round number one, John Simone.
Go, baby.
John Simone.
Mom, I love you.
Victorious.
Give me a shot next year on the Contender Series.